What is up, everybody? It is Tuesday, July 19th, 2022, which means it is time for the Monster Maverick Show, which is this show right here. I'm your host, Neil, and let me do my little promo stuff. Got to do the tweets and the Discords and all that stuff. So there goes my tweet. Let me publish that, and okay, there it goes. I go into the Discord and let all the Mavs know that the Monster Maverick Show is going. Oh, everything's slowing down on my computer here. Alright, Monster Maverick Show starting now. Now we got Jimmo. I failed you guys today in a job interview. Well, congrats, Jimmo, on getting the job there. Oh, easy. Splinterlands.tv, my guy. It's always splinterlands.tv/watch. We got a few people piling in. We got Jimmy. We got the Rondon. We got Blewett. We got Gip. Gip is Mango Wombo. I had no idea that was who that was. But, everybody keeps different names on different social media platforms. It's very confusing. We got Warren. Let's see if my tweet actually goes out. It's just hanging there. Come on, tweet. See, it's right here. I'm trying to press the button to make it go. Oh, what happened? Alright, we may not get a Twitter. But okay. So today is, like I said, July 19th. And it is the day after we got a new announcement that we will be going over about the LP incentives with the airdrop ending and all that stuff. But before we get there, I'll do my usual, what's this show about? Because, not everybody actually watches this every week, and then we got new people. So, a little bit of intro is good. So this is the Monster Maverick Show. And this is all about Splinterlands, but not, what's the best team to play, not what is the best lineup, not what is... the new meta card. Although sometimes we get into the meta cards, but this is the show about Splinterlands from the earn side of play to earn. About the ways, the economy of Splinterlands. And I have good news to report on that front. Over the last week. But so who am I? I'm Neil. I've been around Splinterlands since day one. I'm one of the OGs and largest Splinterlands individual asset holder outside of the team members, which basically just means accurate because he's got a ton of cards, even more than me. And Cryptomancer has been nipping my heels on edging me out on regions, edging me out on node licenses. So I don't know how many cards he has, but he's also team members. That doesn't count. But as far as like non-team members, as far as I know, I'm still a largest asset holder. Also, 50% of the team behind X Chaos. That was our launch pool token for the Chaos Legion packs, and that's been going really well. We had the Legendary Summoner airdrop, and the way X Chaos works is we get the airdrops, both cards and SPS, and then we sell them into the market for DEC. We distribute that DEC to all of our X Chaos holders, and the Wrath has been selling pretty well. What a slacker I've become. Yes, I know. So that's been going really well because Wrath has been selling very well. And, some of the airdrops that we got in the past, it took a long time to get them moving. But, they eventually all went. We still have a few, Carnage Titans, but those are almost done, I think. But Wrath is selling, which is great. So... we also have some special stuff coming in the near future. I want to say in the next couple months. I've been working on forever, but it looks like things are finally happening on that side of the DEC, the Deck 101 and the X Chaos and that whole thing. I was actually thinking about Deck 101 the other day because in the last season end, we had huge dumps on rewards cards, and some of them went below burn even. And so Deck 101 was a service we used to have where you would send in a card and we would pay you 101% of the DEC burn value. And the way our whole model worked is we paid you 101%, we combined up to a max level, and then we burned and we got 105% because there's a 5% bonus when you max out a card. But when prices skyrocketed, I was like, well, there's kind of no point in doing that because there is no incentive to burn those cards. But we might be getting back there. So he kicked Gerber to work. No, I did this all on his own. So it's I had very little to do with it. So that's one of the ventures I'm involved in. The other venture is, you can see at the top of the screen, Vanara Syndicate, digital asset investments, and this is where we put together funds from our partners and deploy those funds into the Splinterlands ecosystem to earn a yield. And that's it's been going pretty well. It's slow going just because it takes time to deploy capital into Splinterlands unless we want to just totally wreck prices. But I'm half that team as well. And that is an accredited only thing where you have to be an accredited U.S. investor in order to be one of our partners. So the reason you might care is if you bring one of those accredited partners, you can get referral fees. So that is a possibility. We're actually not raising any additional funds at the moment, simply because there's so much change going on in the Splinterlands ecosystem. We're trying to be a little bit conservative in the raising and allocation of capital, because we don't want to get into things and then have things change and then have to be stuck in a bad position. So but yeah, something to keep in mind. Anyway, and then in my day job, I do tax advisory and save people millions of dollars. So I'm the financial guy. I've been in the finance world of one sort or another, the investing world, for 20 odd years. And it's amazing to think that I can actually say that now. The years just kind of pass. Something I didn't appreciate in my 20s. But that is me, and that is why I have stuff to say about the earnings potential and financial side of the Splinterlands ecosystem. So with all that said, let's do the theme song. And we have a new thing where I have to keep the theme song going, just to have the bot pick up all the stream or something. But I do love the song. Looks like it's a little low on the mixer. Let's pump it up. Yeah, so this song slaps. That's right. That's by Izaria. So she is the official musical person to do all things Splinterlands, and she made that version for me, like 3 years ago, and it's still not in the game as far as I'm aware, but I think it's supposed to appear there somewhere at some point. All right. So let's get started into this week. So first thing is first, I do want to hit the ecosystem values. Let's get right into the spreadsheets. So I did my usual thing. I pull all the different tokens and I get the floats and the market caps and all that kind of stuff. I get to see interesting things like, somebody opened 5 beta packs in the past week, and then we can see price changes. We can see a lot of green this week. So last week was all red. This week overall we're actually up 7%, and that is a nice little change. We're back over 200 million in ecosystem value, and we can see we're ticking up over here. So we had some ups and some downs, and then we're maybe turning a corner. Now the question is, why are we turning a corner? Well, a few things. One is the macro picture, right? So, we are a DeFi game, and we are part of the crypto macro ecosystem. And anybody who wants to deny that, well, one, is wrong, and two, should just be aware of these things. So this is the granddaddy. This is Bitcoin. As Bitcoin goes, so goes crypto. We had a nice little pop on Ethereum up to 1,500 over the past little while. But by and large, Bitcoin is the market leader for all things crypto. And over the past 2 days, we've had a nice little bump. And that has reflected across crypto everything, including SPS and DEC and all these kinds of things. So that is a positive. Will this continue? Who knows? The Fed is coming out next week. They have another meeting. We're expecting a rate hike. Some people are looking for 75 basis points. Some people are starting to talk 100 basis points in terms of rate hikes. So, Bitcoin at this point is largely correlated to stocks and is largely inversely correlated to the strength of the dollar. So, if we get news that the market likes and we see the dollar fall a little bit and stocks rise, then we might see, or we probably will see, a continuation of this move in crypto. If we get a surprise hike out of the Fed and they turn more hawkish than expected, then expect to see the dollar rise, expect to see Bitcoin fall, expect to see everything else in crypto fall, and stock markets roll over as well. So these are the big picture things to be aware of, because no matter how good Splitterlands is, no matter how many tweaks and everything there are, it's still subject to the macro picture. So you want to be aware of the environment that we are in. Okay. But with that said, we had a good little week, up 7% overall, and some of these components are up substantially. So licenses are up 25%. Which one is this? Vouchers are up 51%. SPS is up 26%. And what's this 27 up here? That is, Untamed. Untamed is up quite a bit. That's nice. So, it was a speculation bounce. Right. So, speculation based on what, right? So we go over to the announcement. So this is going to be the bulk of what I wanted to talk about today. I had a whole bunch of other stuff I wanted to talk about. The Commander Chaos released some data about bots and the top 25 network and all that kind of stuff. But I have a spreadsheet for that. It's a different spreadsheet. But, we're probably not going to have time to get into that. Just the TLDR of this is that this top 25 networks that Commander Chaos has identified, from my estimations, is they're getting about 45% of the liquid rewards. So that means cards and DEC, basically. And they're getting 49% of total rewards, but that includes potions, which you can't really do much with. So let's go to how that's all going to be changing here shortly. So, lots of things are changing in ranked play here in the next couple of weeks. So we got Modern and Wild. That was already a big change. So now we have 2 DEC battle pools, one for Wild, one for Modern. And then, we're getting an ECR change. So last week, Yaba came into the Mavericks house on the Discord and, just was asking people about ideas or, kind of, saying, it's like, well, there's an exploit that's going on, and it's an ECR exploit where, people could run cards on an account, run the ECR all the way down, play hundreds or 1,000 battles or whatever it is, and then they can move those cards, undelegate them, and put them on a new account, get a 1-day cooldown, but it's a 4-day recovery on ECR, so you're getting an arbitrage there between the 2 days and the 4 days, and just repeating the cycle over and over again, and basically kind of doubling up on the use of cards. So Yaba came into the Discord, was asking for ideas, and took my idea, so you're all welcome. So first he was talking about like changing it to a flat 1% drop for every battle. So go from if you started full at 100% ECR, it would go down to 99, 98, 97, 96, and basically that would limit you to 100 battles per day. Maybe eke out a few extra because there's recovery between battles and all that kind of stuff. But my suggestion, which it looks like Yaba took and tweaked the numbers on a little bit, was to do a stepwise change in how much ECR is being used up per battle. And the reason to do that is because, to me, it's like fatigue. So, you're in a battle, you reach round 20, and then your monsters start getting fatigued. The first fatigue round is -1 health to everybody. Second fatigue round is -2 health, then -3, -4, and eventually somebody wins. And there have been a couple battles I've seen that have gone like super low, like 47 rounds, but eventually somebody wins. I don't think there's a fatigue draw. Actually, I'm not sure about that, but that'd be interesting to look into. So they're announcing this. It's going live on July 21st, which is on the Thursday update. When a player wins a ranked battle and their ECR drop is below 50% at the start of the battle, their ECR will be reduced by 5% instead of the typical 1%. Now keep in mind, this is 5% of the current amount. So if you're at 50%, you're going to get a 2.5% drop. If you're at 40%, it'll be 4 times 5 is a 2% drop. Yeah. And then, so it'll be 5% of the current amount. So it'll be an asymptotic kind of thing, but the curve will be steeper compared to that 100 to 50% where the curve is on a 1% drop. So if you hit 50% ECR, you're going to start going down at 5% per battle instead of 1% per battle. There will be no change to the ECR formula when it's above 50%. So this was the key thing to this approach, where players who are normally playing are not going to be affected at all, because in order to get to 50% ECR, you got to do about 70 battles in a day. And that's a lot. And maybe there's a couple people manually playing out there that are hitting that amount, but it's rare. So the thing I liked about this approach so much was that it does not affect normal people in normal play, and it's only affecting if you go into this very high amount of battles per day. So this change will have no effect for the majority of players. We hope that this change, combined with a change in minimum rental time to 2 days, should help further reduce ECR-based exploits. And that's going back to that, that account hopping exploit. So, Splitterlands has always had the approach, or has always had the philosophy that, you can play however you want to play. You can play manually, you can play algorithmically, you can use software to execute battles, and because it's all blockchain, right? And that's Yaba and Agrid are pretty purist when it comes to the crypto ethos. If you can publish a JSON transaction to the Hive blockchain, then you can potentially play, assuming you have the assets to back it up. So that's all fine, but the flip side of that is that if you're using algorithmic play, then the system has to be built in such a way as to not advantage one type of player over another. So the fact that bots can play 1,000 battles in a day, and that's not realistic in any sense of the word for a human player, then that is an imbalance. And over the past few months, they've been doing, I think, a much better job about closing those exploits and getting closer to that ideal, where whether you play as a human or whether you play as a bot, you're still going to have the same kind of rewards and same kind of play experience. In fact, Jimmy went under 50% end of last season, took days to recover. Yeah. So ECR recovers at 25% a day. So, if you get down to 75, you rest for a day, you'll be back at 100. You get down to 50, it's going to take 2 days to recover. So, all these updates are getting closer and closer to that ideal where, bots and humans are on a level playing field. And so that, I think, is fantastic. The other major change that we're getting here shortly is replacing the EC with SPS. So, we have, how many days left? 10 days? 9 days? I don't know, not many, whatever it is. Let's go over. We're on day 358 out of 365. So that is 7 days. We got a week left. After that, then we're going to be getting SPS in battle rewards. So we were having a discussion in Discord. So my understanding was that both battle rewards and chest rewards are going to be replaced by SPS pools, and that may not be quite right. So I got to check with Yaba and see what exactly we are expecting when we get this change. Because one of the issues with having DEC as the reward is that it's purely inflationary. And what I mean by that is that if you have an account on whatever Silver League, and you add another account to Silver League, you're increasing the total amount of DEC issued per day. And under the SPS system, there's going to be a fixed amount in a pool, and that's going to be split up amongst however many accounts. So if you add another account, all the other accounts are going to receive marginally less because you're not dividing up the total pool by n+1 instead of n. So you are having rather than growing the reward pool in tokens and then devaluing the token, you're splitting the same number of tokens into more ways, and so you're going to be getting fewer tokens. We're also getting the merits, where 10% of the chests are going to have merits in them of varying amounts. We're still waiting on a post for the exact amounts there, but so all these changes are being done. A lot of them are to fight the bronze bots, but overall, I think this is going to be a much better way to go. So, over the next, 2 weeks, we'll see a bunch of these different changes roll out, and we'll see how the whole bot network thing responds. Because remember, at the moment, we're at 45% of liquid rewards going to those top 25 networks. So that's an issue, right? And, most of them, not all, but most of those rewards end up getting sold through the market, and then we are suffering the result, I guess, of that constant selling. So that I think is a solid update for all those things. The other thing that's happening with the end of the airdrop is that we have these liquidity pools. We have SPS liquidity pools, we have DEC liquidity pools, and these were incentivized under the airdrop structure with SPS airdrops, and now that's ending. So the SPS airdrop has been incentivizing players to add liquidity to the DEC token, but now that is quickly coming to an end. It's important that new incentives are put in place to ensure that the Slitherlands tokens, DEC, SPS, and Voucher have adequate liquidity across the various external exchanges and blockchain platforms on which the tokens trade. And I know I've said it before, but can we get a new name for Voucher? Just anything. This name is just terrible. I like time crystals because, vouchers are like a derivative of staking time in SPS, but just something. Anyway, the team has been working for a bit now on setting up new LP reward smart contracts that can be deployed on Ethereum, BSC, and other similar chains. However, this will take a while to get those contracts reviewed and audited, and even longer to get them integrated into the Slitherlands website UI. Yeah, smart contract auditing is a months-long process because those guys are busy. In order to be able to get the LP reward started sooner, we will be reusing the old LP reward system that we used for DEC LP rewards last year, which should allow us to get the new LP reward system live starting when the SPS airdrop ends on July 26, 2022. So if you weren't around back then, you would go to, and you had LP, you had LP DEC into ETH or DAI or one of those on Ethereum or on Binance Smart Chain. You would go over here and you could say claim Uniswap reward. And you had to have already linked to your external wallets, which obviously you should probably be familiar with how to do already. And then it would say, it's like, oh, today you earned whatever, 300 DEC as your LP reward. And you just do that every day, and that would be it. So I think that's the system that they are talking about in this post. So that they can just turn on and point to the right place, and you're good to go. So what are those rewards going to be? Well, we got SPS LP rewards. As most of you know, the SPS white paper has set aside 7.5 million SPS tokens per month, which is at current prices $375,000 for liquidity provider rewards. We plan to initially launch with rewards split between the following pools: 1.5 million for SPS BNB on PancakeSwap, 1.5 million for SPS ETH on SushiSwap, 1.5 million SPS for SPS Hive on Hive Engine, and 750,000 a month for SPS DEC on Hive Engine. Now, this is smaller, and there's a reason for that, and we'll see that in just a second. And then 375,000 SPS per month for Voucher Hive on Hive engine. Now it's interesting. Now the most liquid pool was the one I started originally, which was Voucher SPS, but here they're rewarding Voucher Hive. So obviously they want to kind of break out vouchers a little bit from the SPS price, which is pretty interesting. This leaves 1.875 million SPS tokens per month from the pool still available to allocate to more pools in the future. For example, if SPS is launched on Polygon or other change and external markets. Fun fact, SPS, there's a wrapped version of SPS that's already on Polygon called PSPS, and you can trade that on the Polycub platform, which is from Leo Finance. And there's a wrapping bridge, and then there's liquidity pool, which I'm probably the largest liquidity pool provider over there, and you can farm that over on Polycub and earn a yield there. Right now yields are 40%, something like that. They were higher, but the inflation there has been cut in half because of their whole thing. But that's probably beyond the scope of what we're talking about here. For some context, right now SPS is being minted at a rate of 51,145,833 tokens per month. When the airdrop ends in approximately 1 week, that rate will drop by 33 million, well, let's say 33 and a third million tokens per month, and the following new pools are planned to begin shortly thereafter. Can I explain what I mean by breaking out SPS price from vouchers? Right, so with voucher SPS being the primary liquidity pool, that means that that's going to be the main trading mechanism, and then as one earns vouchers and then they sell vouchers for SPS, then the price of vouchers is just going to fall. But by tying it to Hive, then you are introducing a new type of volatility, because Hive volatility is not related to SPS volatility. So it's going to become correlated more towards Hive. Because assume that there's no trading, right? There's 100 Hive in a pool and 1,000 vouchers, or whatever the ratio is, 100 to 100, let's say. If there's no trading and the price of Hive changes, well, then the price of vouchers changes with it. So that different source of volatility changes the price dynamics of vouchers. So that's what I mean by breaking it apart from SPS. Can we expect a similar effect? Well, we're getting there. So let's finish the post here, though. So SPS inflation is going to drop. I've shown you that before on my projected SPS inflation spreadsheet. We're in the stepwise down phase where the private sale inflation is gone. The airdrop inflation is ending here in a week, and that means that the ongoing inflation, which is going to last for the next couple of years, is going to be much lower compared to what we've experienced so far. So marginal supply of SPS is going down, so that the easy to get SPS is going away. We could say it that way. And these are going to be some of the new ways to get SPS, right? Participating in these pools, player staking, not vouchers, node licenses, and then staking in game. Those are going to be the main ways. So then, let's see. The new pools plan to be shortly thereafter. 5.625 per month for liquidity provider rewards, 7.5 million a month for ranked battles, 3.75 for validated node license holders, 2.5 million for guild brawl rewards. Once the above new reward pools go live, that will bring the total SPS minted per month to 37,197,500, which is approximately 27% less than the current rate. Additionally, these new reward pools will be going primarily to the most active and involved players in the game, who we hope will be more likely to stake or otherwise reinvest their SPS token rewards back into the ecosystem. So yeah, the supply is going down. If demand remains the same, that means price should go up. If demand decreases, then maybe it stays the same or goes down. But it's a good move overall. And then we have DEC LP rewards. So DEC, if we're losing it from battles and we're possibly losing it from chests, then where are we going to get it from? Well, you can burn cards, or you can get DEC from these LP rewards, or what else can we get DEC from? I think that's it. Finally, we are also planning to add a new DEC reward pool of 70 million per month for liquidity provided rewards for DEC pools, which will be allocated as follows: 20 million DEC for DEC BUSD on PancakeSwap, 20 million for DEC DAI on Uniswap. It's interesting that they are abandoning DEC ETH. So on here we've got another 20 million DEC Hive on Hive Engine, and then 10 million on SPS DEC on Hive Engine. So for all the external pools for DEC, they're only rewarding the stablecoin pools. And so renting and selling cars, that's new DEC to you, but that's not minting. That's not minting fresh DEC. So here we got the SPS DEC pool on getting both DEC and SPS. So you're getting double rewards on SPS DEC, and that's the only pool that has that. And Jarvy's here, a bit late to the party. So we're getting DEC rewards on all these guys. And then in our previous ranked rewards update post, we announced that the DEC rewards in game will be replaced with SPS rewards, which we hope will stabilize the external market price of DEC. So some of you might be wondering why we would be adding a new pool of DEC tokens here. It's important to note that the size of the pool is about 1/5 the size of the current amount of DEC being minted on a monthly basis for ranked battles, so it will still be a huge overall reduction in the amount of DEC inflation in the system. Additionally, liquidity is an incredibly important factor for the utility of tokens, which is absolutely true. If you can't trade it, then it's worthless. So we feel that this new inflation pool will add much more value than it extracts by incentivizing deep liquidity pools. And then we got a section on SPS governance. They're working on it, and they're going to get it out as quickly as possible. Okay, so that is the post. And before we get into my spreadsheet, let's go ahead and... Eldon was saying, can we expect a similar effect when LPs are released like we had when the airdrop was released? DEC times 10? I don't think we get times 10, but we might get some movement. Gip is saying that means in general, more trading pairs are better than one with a lot of locked up liquidity, like the voucher SPS pool. Not necessarily better, but it's different. The more pools you have, the more arbitrage you're going to have between pools, and actually makes the price steadier. So that may or may not be what you want. You might want a highly volatile coin. So like DEC, you can see by tying them to stable coins, it's going to be less volatile than SPS, which is not tied to stable coins. So these guys are volatile coins, and these guys are stable coins. You still got a little bit of volatility with the Hive and the SPS, but overall it's going to be much more stable than it was. Jarvie was a bit late, but here now. Rick Sand says that ironic that the most active players are currently bots that sell everything. That's a fair point. Short time to fix that, I suppose. Untamed Sarge, better late than never. What's the skinny? Standing by for the scuttlebutt. We'll get to that. Double rewards. Yep. Ice floats me to summarize the past 30 minutes. New rewards for liquidity is kind of the thing. I want to grow up to be a Maverick. Any tips? Yeah, just gotta buy packs. That's all you gotta do. Okay, so based on this, on these two lists of pools, I went ahead and made a new spreadsheet. And this one is a Google sheet so I can share it. Because I know people say, "Well, can I get a copy?" So I'm going to share it right now. Let's do loading. Come on, Google, don't fail me now. I thought this was going to be quick. Come on. It's killing my stream here. Okay, here we go. Let's do restricted. We're going to change that to anyone with the link. Updating. Viewer. Copy. Done. So here is the link. And if you guys are watching the replay, then tough. Get the link from someone else. All right. So here we have, I just copied and pasted the info from the post. And I take a look at today's SPS price and today's DEC price. DEC's actually gone up a little bit since then. So, that might be a little bit out of date. Now, here is the question. So one of the things that Jarvie asked in the post was that, is Splinterlands going to be getting LP rewards or LP incentives? And Yabba said no. So what I did was I looked at the current pools and I said, okay, how much in rewards do these these incentives mean in US dollar terms at current prices? And we come out to this. It's 81,000 for the big SPS pools. It's 12,000 for the DEC pools. Voucher Hive is 20,000, and SPS DEC, when you combine the two different things, is 46,000, and that's at these current prices. And then I broke that down to daily, and then I looked at current liquidity. So this is how much was in the pools as of a few hours ago. And what I went through and tried to do was try to subtract out however much belongs to Splinterlands of those liquidity pools, and that gives us our player liquidity. So the player liquidity is how much is going to be eligible for rewards, right? And that gives us, if we take the player liquidity and we take the daily rewards and multiply it out annually, then we get a current APR. And so you can see these current APRs of 75% for SPS BNB, 129% SPS ETH, 1,252% for SPS Hive, which is crazy, 45% for SPS DEC. Interestingly, SPS DEC, because that was double rewarded for the SPS airdrop, Splinterlands has nothing in there, as far as I can tell. So that is totally player owned and operated. Voucher Hive, 1,100%. DEC BUSD, 79%. DEC DAI is 88%. And this is on version 2 of Uniswap. So, it's a bit outdated. I don't know if they're going to migrate that to V3 or whatever. And the DEC Hive, 46%. So that's as it stands now with the current amounts of player liquidity. Now, for those of you who are not DeFi degens like me, what do I mean by liquidity? What do I mean by current APR? So in a liquidity pool, you'll have typically two tokens, like SPS BNB, let's say. So you put in an equal dollar value amount of SPS and an equal dollar value amount of BNB. And you put those in a pool, and that allows people to trade. So you are providing the liquidity for other people to swap in and out. They can trade SPS for BNB, or they can trade BNB for SPS. As the reward for providing that liquidity on the platform for PancakeSwap, you get, I think it's 0.17% of the trade. So if the whole pool is $100,000, and $100,000 of volume happens in that day, then 0.17% of $100,000 trading volume will go to the people who are already in the pool with that $100,000. So, that would be 100,000 times 0.17 is going to be $170, and that $170 will be distributed to all the liquidity pool providers that are currently in that pool. And it's, on a weighted basis, depending on how much liquidity you've contributed. So the APR is the measurement of extra incentives that you're getting on top of that trading that trading commission, basically. And it's currently, for this pool with these numbers, is 75%. All right. Saying voucher price just shot up in the past couple hours. That is true, and this is why. So if I can make 75% on SPS BNB, well, you gotta figure that's pretty attractive, right? 75% is much more than you're making, by staking in game. It's comparable to buying an SPS node license, and SPS node licenses, it's a big buy-in, right? Because you got to have the $1,500 plus the 500 vouchers, which is it's a good chunk to take down. So liquidity pool SPS BNB, you can enter that with $1. However much you want to do, as much or as little as you want, and you can scale up or down as you choose. So it's a lot more fluid and liquid in that way. So as more and more people get into the pool, that means the player liquidity is going to increase, which means that this $2,600 a day is going to be distributed amongst more and more people. So that means your individual share is going to go down. Make sense? Good. So then the question becomes, it's like, well, what is the target APR? At what point will people be satisfied and will competition stop coming in? And my guess is 50%. And I just took the 50% as a number simply because the in-game staking has been hovering in that range. So it seems like that is the the amount of risk that people want to be rewarded for in the Splinterlands ecosystem. So if all of these APRs are going to either drop or rise to 50%, then how much user liquidity or player liquidity are we going to have in these pools? And at current prices, that would put the large pools for SPS at about $2 million. That would put Sps Dec at about 1.1 million. That would put Voucher Hive at 486,000, and that would put the DEC pools at 287,000. So some of these ILPs are on Hive Engine. How do I get it? I'll show you in just a minute once we get there. So there are two pools, the DEC Hive and the SPS DEC, that are actually already less than this 50% target amount, and that is a reflection of the SPS airdrop that has been going on for the last year. So these other pools have been underserved compared to what we're looking for, and there is a potential for some earnings. Obviously, these two, Voucher Hive and SPS Hive, are the biggest opportunities. So if you enter the SPS Hive pool, then at least when I recorded this or when I recorded these values, you would be making 12 times over the course of a year. But like I said, competition will come in, and that APR will go down as more competition comes in, and that the liquidity approaches that target liquidity. So don't expect to actually make this, right? But you have to think through the mechanics a little bit extra, right? So Hive is a $300 million market cap token. Us buying in for Hive and putting in these pools, it's not going to sway the price of Hive very much. But if you are buying SPS to pair with Hive, that might be driving the price up, because it's worth buying the SPS up to the point where you are satisfied with the returns, right? So if you're happy with the end state of making 50%, then it's worth buying SPS up until you have enough liquidity in the pool to reach that 50% target. And there's a lot of room in this pool in order to buy SPS to do that. Same thing on vouchers, right? So vouchers have basically doubled in the past 24 hours. If we go over to Tribal Dex, Tribal Dex actually upgraded while I wasn't looking, which was a nice thing to see. So if we go to vouchers, we can see that we have a nice little green candle here, right? It's hard to tell, but there's actually an hourly chart now on Tribal Dex, which I did not know until I was looking at this earlier today. So you can see over the past, let's see, when did it start? 7 p.m. yesterday. So that's probably when this post came out. Let's see, what was the time? 23 hours ago. Yeah, there you go. So as soon as this post came out, people started buying vouchers. And, they bought some people sold, and then buying some more, and some fighting going on here. And the reason for that is because, there's a lot of room to buy vouchers in order to pair in this pool and still make an adequate APR. That is the reason. So vouchers basically just got an enormous boost in utility, because we now have discounts on packs, we have discounts on no licenses, and we have LP rewards. So the LP rewards are qualitatively different than the purchase bonuses. So the purchase bonuses only work if you're going to buy those things anyway, but the LP rewards are very liquid and very easy to use. So that is a huge point in the favor of the Voucher Hive pool over the other ways to use your vouchers. And again, the name is terrible. I want it to be something different. Jarvis says hourly's been the word. I don't use Tribal Dex very much, so I hadn't seen it. So you have to think, it's like, well, how much vouchers have to be bought and then pooled in order for this APR to come down to something more acceptable, whether it's 50% or 80% or whatever. That number is going to be way lower than 1100%. So and vouchers, it would make sense for vouchers to continue to be bought until this APR drops. Now, there are a lot of vouchers out there. If we go to the Peak Monsters Explorer, let's go to... it's not going to load, is it? All right. You can go into the Peak Monsters Explorer. There's the top holders thing, and then you can look at vouchers. There is 3 million something. 3.375 million vouchers out there right now. So if all of those went into the pool, then there would be no reason to buy any, because that would, we wouldn't need that many in the pool. But the large majority of vouchers are on these idle accounts that, got a whole bunch of SPS in the beginning of the airdrop and have just been sitting on it. So, it's an open question as to how much active competition you will have in the voucher pool. But whatever the case, so like I have a whole bunch of SPS node licenses. I'm earning vouchers every day. You can bet your butt that a lot of those are going to go into Voucher Hive to earn that yield. Now, there's another play, though, in that, you can... so Eldon is saying, what is the magic number for vouchers? How many need to enter the pool to get similar results like the other LPs? Well, the total of liquidity values needs to be 486,000 to reach that same 50% APR. The question is, at what price, right? So as the price of vouchers climbs, you need fewer and fewer of them. But at 40 cents, you need, I don't know, whatever, half of 486,000. Let's see. So half of that's going to be Hive. The other half will be vouchers. So that's going to be 243,000. So at 40 cents, we need 607,000 vouchers in the pool, which is, out of 3 million, that's, let's just do the math. What was it, 337? Yeah, this number here. Come on. My computer is freezing here. All right, 337, 25, 990, 337, 5990. So there's that many vouchers out there. So we need, this is actually in percentage. So let's do that. We would need 18% of all vouchers at current prices to get into the pool in order to drop the APR down to this 50% level. But that's way too much. That's not going to happen. So the price has to rise at some to some level in order to reach that $240,000 of liquidity. So so these two are the big opportunities right now: SPS Hive, Voucher Hive. Now, there was a question earlier how to do this, and I will show you. There's the hard way and the easy way, right? So you can go to Tribal Decks, you go to Pools, and then you can look at add liquidity, and you can put in whatever you want to put in. Swap.hive DEC, and then you can add in whatever you got, right? Or you can go to BSwap, and then go to swap over here. You go to Pools, type in the one you want, and then you click plus. So if I want to add not voucher SPS, but if I want to add swap.hive voucher, I go to plus. It pre-populates everything, and I put in however much I want. So you always have to put in always have to put in a balanced amount. So if you don't have enough, so like I have way more vouchers than I have swap.hive. So I would need to either buy swap.hive, or I can only put in that much of both. So you just have to arrange your stuff. But as always, BSwap wallet is going to be the easiest way to add and remove liquidity. So you can do your positions, add liquidity, remove liquidity, and just search everything from the pools, and you're in the right place, and it'll pre-populate everything. So let me go back on the chat here, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that I was missing. Let's see. Ron Down says, just put the link in the description of the YouTube video. I said, no, you have to be here. Voucher price just shot up. Yeah, it sure did, because people are chasing it. And then Untamed Sarge did a whole bunch of one-tier sub. I don't know what that is, because I know nothing about Twitch, but I think it's a good thing. People saying thanks. Let's see. Ron Down is not even subscribed. And some of these LPs are on Hive Engine. How do I get in? Yes, through BSwap. You can do it on tribal decks, but BSwap is easier. And this is good information. If you do not subscribe to any other SPL TV broadcast and you are new, subscribe to this streamer. I appreciate that. This is the real skinny. Are LP rewards given daily, or how does it work? So, like in the post, they said they're going to be using the old system, which, again, we go here, click. It's going to be, I assume they're going to rename this, but it was under this link, and I don't think this works anymore. But you put in your address, and it would tell you, how much there is to claim, and then you just click claim, and then it puts the amount in your in-game wallet. So it's a little bit of a manual process, but so it's a claim incentive rather than a airdrop incentive. Let's see. Talking about Twitch stuff, which I don't know. So Jarvie was talking about my point here. So that 486,000 you expect, still only about 400,000 more vouchers, and there are 3 million out there. So we'll see if present owners jump into the pool or people have to buy to get in there. My speculation is that people are going to have to buy, because a lot of those old accounts that have huge stacks of vouchers, they're just not doing anything. So that's my guess. But they could suddenly activate. It's certainly possible. Sarge is not blowing smoke, which is good. Okay. It's always the same thing with Splinter Lines. How to get rich quick. Just buy vouchers when they are cheap. Well, yeah, buy anything when it's cheap. That's buy when things are cheap and sell when they are dear. That is the way to make money speculating. The trick is actually managing to do that. Right? So people are complaining. Price of SPS is down. We're at 5.5 cents, 5.6 cents right now. And it's all of good trading is going against human emotions, because you wanna buy the hot thing, the popular thing, the thing that is in the news. But that's typically the worst time to buy things, because you're buying when it's well known, it's already had its run up. The time to buy is when things are low. So I've been saying this for a while. I'm bullish on SPS over a time period of years. We just had a year-long distribution phase. Anytime you're giving stuff away, it's going to be cheap, right? Because people, some people stack it, some people just sell it, but there's no real reason to buy. But now that is largely ending. We're getting a 27% drop in total SPS inflation on a monthly basis, and it's just going to be harder to come by. So if you value the utility of SPS, which is going to be governance, which is going to be, staking, which is going to be access to tournaments and all those other things, and you think that Splinter Lines is going to continue to survive, then, it's a decent price. So, obviously, there's the sleep at night test where, if you can't sleep at night because of your investments, then your investments are too much. You have to be able to manage the risk in your life. And I've actually been developing this theory where the human mind can only handle so much volatility, which is why like a month in crypto feels like years in traditional markets, because crypto is just so much more volatile than traditional stocks and bonds and things. So just know that going in, and don't bet your house on anything. Sarge apparently wants to interview me. I didn't even know you had a stream, but maybe we could do that. Where did I find the APR for each pool? I calculated it in that spreadsheet. And let's see, we got GIP. You always have 1 million SPS staked. Any reasons? Yeah, just because I want 1 million. That's why. I actually have another account with another 600,000 something staked. I was trying to get to 2 million staked, but then nodes came along and I couldn't get there. But yeah, so that's my position. So we have about 6 minutes left, and we're gonna have time to open some packs. I don't know, maybe. I did kind of want to get into the data from Commander Chaos, which is loading. So Commander Chaos published this chart here in Discord earlier today. And he's got his top 25 bot networks and how many chests they claimed at the various leagues. Interestingly, none in in Diamond and none in Champion. A few in Gold, but mostly Silver, and obviously the vast majority in Bronze. And then all others, over here, and the total makes all accounts. So what I did was, I went into, I just manually entered that same data, and then I went over to the, what's the new name? Splinter Exchange, Splex.gg. What do I think of the new DEC reward pool? It's nice. Modern is way cheaper to play in than in Wild, and a lot of the bots have not adjusted yet, so there's very low competition there. So I rent out all my cards, and then when I play, I just rent from the market. The DEC inflation is going away, but it's not there yet. So if we go to chest EV by league, we get some values. So overall per chest, this chart is super confusing, I think. Yixin put this together, but whatever. So we have the chest values of 2.8 cents, 5.7 cents, 12 cents, 17.9 cents, 41.6 cents. And I went ahead and put those values in here. And then on this one, Splinter Cards also has a readout, but this one you can actually include or not include potion values. So if we take it out, then we can actually get how much is liquid, right? Because potions you can't do anything with aside from open cards. So the liquid values of each chest, or of each tier chest, is this amount: 1.3 cents, 4.4, 0.109, 0.17, and 0.406. So what I wanted to do was I said, okay, well, if we made, two silvers, two gold, 648 gold, 520,000 silver, 742,000 bronze. Yeah, that makes $50,000 rewards, but only 32,000 is liquid, sellable, DEC and cards. And then compared to other, is 28,000. So this was the season end amount. So, I went through and I added them all up for all the dates that we had in that data. So I have not checked Commander Chaos's data. I'm just assuming he's right here. So some, fair warning there. I'm also assuming I don't have any typos in here, which I might. But we come out to from 7-1 to 7-18, 255,000 of liquid rewards going to these top 25 networks, and 307,000 going to everybody else, which is not a great ratio. So I'm glad that we're getting all these changes. We're getting the ECR exploit closed. We're getting 2-day rentals, which will drop the the pinpoint efficiency of people who are renting cards, and all that will, and then the adding the merits and changing DEC to or inflationary DEC to a fixed amount of SPS. And you got to know that when they set up these pools, the largest SPS pool is going to be in Champion, and the smallest one is going to be in Bronze. So in Bronze, you're going to have the most number of accounts competing for the least amount of SPS. So per account, it's going to be small. And obviously, we'll have to wait to see the actual post for all the numbers. But I think bot earning efficiency is going to go way down. And that means more for everybody else, which I think is okay. The question is, how will they respond, right? Because if you own your cards and you're not renting, and you field, diverse decks. Oh, we also have the new quests coming up. Or not, they're not called quests anymore. Focus points, focus chests, daily focus. That's the one. We'll still take DEC to upgrade guilds, probably. It's gonna be a sync. There's always gonna be sources and syncs for the different tokens. So it's gonna be an interesting couple of weeks, month, whatever it is, and then. There's supposedly we're getting the first reveal of lands here in Q3. Maybe, hopefully we get it. But overall, I think the earning ecosystem of playing is going to change dramatically over the next, let's call it 6 weeks. And we'll see where we end up on the other side of all that. But I am optimistic. And then we're getting all these LP rewards, so lots of new ways to earn and improved ways to earn as some of these exploits get cramped down on. So that is all the time that we have for today. So thanks everybody for coming out, and we'll see you next week.